walk out the door, you see someone that you know, and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So with Black Clover chapter 293, this is easily like one of the more controversial chapters. And like on one hand, it makes sense why it would be so controversial given like you have literally Magna. I mean, Magna of all people defeating Dante, who most people assumed was, this arc's main villain, seeing as he is the leader of the Dark Triad and all. So like I could understand why there would be a lot of controversy here, but like honestly, within the confines of the story, it makes sense. Like it's not like it just happened for no reason. It wasn't like freaking Magna got his whole body crushed, but somehow like willpowered or surpassed his limits through it and still beat Dante. Like there's definitely like set up reasons why he did win. Now, if you don't like it, I can totally understand that because I myself am a little weird about it. Like the situation is just weird. Like it's more weird than anything else. So I can definitely understand that. So I do want to go over the chapter and then definitely give a lot of my thoughts on the whole Dante and Magna thing throughout it. Now the thing with this chapter is I felt like outside of how people and myself feel about the Magna and Dante fight, is the past two chapters in this chapter. I feel like two of these chapters could have been combined or at the very least, we could have got flashes of something else happening in the castle, because I noticed a lot of other mangakas do this, especially like the prime example here would be Oda. When you have a big raid, or not even just talking about what's going on in Wano, but if you look at any of like Oda stuff, even all the way back to like Alabasta, typically the One Piece formula is like when you have a big fight or a big event going on with multiple fights happening at once, you get flashes and bits throughout it. So it kind of breaks up the monotony a little bit. It breaks it up so it's not just like, here's fully three chapters of one fight, fully four chapters of another. It kind of breaks it up a bit so you get bits and pieces of everything without getting really like burnt out on this one thing. Because I'm burnt out on Magna and Dante. Like it was cool for a while, but like 3 chapters of getting some of Magna's flashback is a bit excessive to me. That's just a bit much. Like that's just my only thing. It's just a little bit much. So I feel like 2 of the chapters somewhere some of the content could have been combined or broken it up a little bit so we could have like split it up, because like I said, it just got dry. But again, this chapter, it does start off with Luck racing towards where Magna is. And like obviously Luck has amazing mana sense and he's been around Magna so much, he definitely knows whose mana this is. So if anything, I bet Luck was probably mad confused on his way down there, because he sensed Magna fighting, but like he probably sensed Magna with way more magic than he actually has, so he was probably like mad confused. But essentially the next huge portion of the chapter is Magna and Dante fighting, just more of just showing off Dante using, gravity magic to try to get Magna, and then him healing with his body magic. There was this one panel that I kind of wish Tabata would have like I'll just explain. It was that one panel when Dante formed a sword and he sliced it down, and like for a second when I seen it, it looked like Tabata had like used Dante's slash for paneling, and like I get it, that side panel would have been kind of little, but I really think he should have did it. But during the fight, Dante does say that a grotesque creature like Magna cannot bring him supreme joy, meaning that like Magna is not at the level Dante wants him to be to, bring him that like amazing fight. And then Magna has this whole flashback of back to the crystal exams where he thinks about how there are so many amazing different knights and how he's not a noble or a royal, or he's not even like Luck, who has, even though he's a commoner too, he has amazing instincts, which just makes him naturally really great. Like how Luck is actually just, Luck has talent and Magna does not. Or even like Asta, even though Asta has less magic than him, he has anti-magic, so of course he looks even, it's just crazy, and Magna doesn't have anything. And then we get like a nice little, I do enjoy these Yami moments with the Black Bulls, like when Yami has his one-on-ones to kind of like give them some confidence. So when Magna asks Yami, why did he, invite him to his squad, and Yami says that it's because he's the gutsiest out there, I kind of felt that, Magna does definitely put himself out there. Now, it's weird because I don't know if he could still say that with Asta being there. Like Asta definitely has more guts than Magna, but I'm not gonna let that take away from Magna's moment. And then this probably comes more into my favorite part of the chapter, where like not when Magna's talking about how hard he trained or how much he studied, because we got that last chapter, but like when he really starts implementing some of these boxing moves, like my dude is really moving like Ippo out there. Like I know you guys have seen Hajime no Ippo with like Makanochi Ippo with the Dempsey roll, when he was like swaying back and forth I seen it, bro. That was it. That was the Dempsey role right there. And it's after that that we get, the huge thing where Dante's magic just turns off. Like he goes completely out of his devil union, or not devil union, but like devil possession, I believe it is for them, and he's like back normal. And he's confused, and it's because he used up all of his magic, so they both don't have any magic. And this is one thing that made me think about the death chain or the soul chain, is that I wonder, like, is it a constant thing where, like, if Magna took half of Dante's magic, are they both now sharing the magic pool constantly? Because that's kind of what I think is happening, as opposed to like, I got half and you got half, and now we can use our halves however we want. Like, say per se, if one person used up all of their magic, the other person would still have some. I guess it doesn't work that way. I guess it's like, no matter what, they're both always going to be at the same level, even going all the way down to zero. Which I feel like is something people could be overlooking, is that, Magna is also using some of this magic too, as well as Dante was throwing out crazy gravity attacks, as well as, or not like super crazy, but he was like actively using infighting, swords, presence of the Demon King. He was throwing out everything, in addition to using his body magic to heal himself because he didn't dodge anything, and he was taking crazy blows from Magna the entire time and healing. So like, Dante, not only was he using twice the amount of mana as Magna would have been, like, because he's using offensive and defensive. He he's also sharing with Magna too, who is reinforcing himself. So it's like the magic was going quick. Like the magic was going down fast. Like they were flying through it. Like, you really have to understand. Like, it makes sense that Dante would run out of magic. Now, I could understand why people would be a little bit off about the devil possession running out, but at the same time, we don't necessarily know the conditions that the Dark Triad have their devil possessions. Like, we don't know, like, if one of the stipulations is they themselves have to maintain some mana for the devils to stay connected to them. So we don't really know that because we never got it. So you can't really say that it's a bad thing, I guess, or it doesn't make sense if we just literally didn't get that information. Because it actually could be the case if Tabata next chapter fills us in on the possession that, oh yeah, if they run out of mana, their possession runs out too. Bam, that was fixed that right there. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily bad writing, like how I have been seeing on Twitter. I don't think this is bad writing. I just think it's just a choice in the story that a lot of people don't like, which is understandable. Seeing as, like I was saying, Dante was hyped up to be the main villain, like, the whole world is in the palm of our hands, like, and then he gets knocked out by Magna in a regular old fist fight. And I really do like how Dante just looked at the end, how when he realized he couldn't use his gravity magic or his body magic, he really did have like that huge sense of just lostness. Like, he just looked like he didn't know what to do, because that moment he really was like defenseless. And then even after that, I live for these moments in series right here. Dante might not have been, the greatest villain ever, but at the very least, he does have way more character than Vanica or Xenon. Just because, like, when he has no magic and he's about to punch Magna, and you just see that look of just like he doesn't accept what's happening right now. Like, he looks basically broken here, and then he still gets he still gets knocked out. So it was like, that moment was actually really, really good. Once you get over the whole Magna beating Dante thing, like, once you really like enjoy this chapter for what it is, I really do think it is really good. And then at the very end, we do have Asta and Noct, as well as Luck, pulling up all at the same time to see like Magna standing over Dante's body with his victory roar. I really do like the victory roar thing, because I liked it in My Hero a lot when Deku had beat Muscular. I really liked that a lot. So with seeing Magna do this too, just like the triumphant scream over it was kind of hype for me. So. And that was the chapter. Essentially, I basically, like I said, throughout here been talking about how I feel about the Dante Magna thing. I don't think it was bad writing. I just think it was just kind of questionable to have Dante portrayed in such a way without having like a backup main villain, or like without having something else. Because it's like Dante is supposed to be the main villain, but like at the same time, him being beaten right here is kind of weird, just because we don't have like another villain lined up that's been somewhat established to kind of take his place. So it's just kind of odd, So Who knows, maybe next chapter in the very near future, the main villain will shift over to Morris, or Dante could potentially not be beaten. We could think that like Lucifero could have just maybe pulled his magic back so Dante could lose, and then he gets full control of Dante's body. That's always a possibility too. I mean, or Dante could just get back up. Maybe he's not completely knocked out. That's like there's tons of possibilities on where this could go. But as for me personally, I think Dante's done. I think there's not really much more you can do with his character. There's not really much more you can do with him in the story. I mean, I kind of, if he would come back, it would only be because I feel like Tabata likes Dante in the sense of Dante is very similar, not personality wise, but just how his ability with gravity is similar to his old protagonist in Hungry Joker. So I feel like Tabata probably does like him if he, you know, brought that power over and gave it to this guy Dante. So that's kind of just how I feel about that. Let me know down below how you guys feel about the whole Magna and Dante thing. I know it's a huge point of contention in the series right now. I'm just very curious. But all in all, I give the chapter probably like an 8. It was alright. It was just cool. I would give it more points, like it would be higher up if it wasn't over the span of 3 chapters without anything else being in it. Like it just felt stale with just these 3 of just only purely Magna versus Dante. That's the only thing with me. So yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about that. Let me know how you guys feel about thoughts on the chapter overall. So make sure you guys like the video as well as subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate all of the support. You guys are amazing. With that being said, enjoy the rest of you guys' day, and I will see you all in my next video.